The ship drifted silently through the black void of space. For months, the protagonist had floated alone. Systems failing slowly, life support struggled to keep air and temperature stable. Alarms beeped occasionally, warning of low energy and damaged engines. Every day felt the same, isolation pressing heavily on the mind. The stars outside the viewport looked beautiful but cold, distant, and indifferent. Memories of home seemed far away, almost like a dream. The protagonist checked the navigation logs again. Coordinates repeated errors, course corrections failing without reason. Communication systems were dead, no signals reaching home or any nearby colony. Hope was slipping with every passing hour. "I have to survive," the protagonist whispered to the empty bridge. Every tool, every screen, every gauge became a companion in solitude. Yet nothing could replace the warmth of life outside these metal walls. Then, suddenly, sensors picked up a faint signal. It was weak but deliberate, pulsing in a rhythm that suggested intelligence. The protagonist froze, staring at the screen, unsure whether to respond after months of silence. Any contact could be a lifeline or a trap. Hands shook slightly as the decision came. To answer might bring rescue, or might bring danger from something unknown. The signal intensified, just slightly. Like a heartbeat in the void, shadows flickered across the radar. Movement where there should have been none. The protagonist adjusted the ship's course cautiously, trying to follow the source without alerting it. The unknown presence seemed aware of every maneuver. Sensors flickered again, displaying shapes and readings that made no sense. Questions filled the mind. Was this a ship? A probe? Or something else entirely? A soft hum filled the ship, almost musical. The voice came next. Alien, melodic, yet clear in the mind. "I claim this vessel as my home," it said. The protagonist jumped back, heart pounding. No human had spoken. Yet the words were real. A ship claimed as a home? By whom? For what purpose? Questions and fear mingled with awe and curiosity. Suddenly, a shadow appeared outside the viewport. It moved gracefully, almost like it was floating. The ship's external lights revealed a figure slender. Tall, with glowing features, her eyes were calm but commanding, scanning the bridge as if she owned it. The protagonist swallowed, trying to stay composed. Who are you?" The voice trembled slightly. She smiled faintly. "I am the one who watches this vessel," she said. "My home is here, and now you are part of it." The protagonist felt a mix of fear and fascination. Every instinct screamed to resist. Yet the ship responded subtly to her presence. Lights flickered. Systems whirred as if awakening after a long sleep. The voice was calm, but the power behind it was undeniable. "You drifted for too long," she continued, "and now it is time for guidance." Her eyes seemed to pierce every corner of the ship. Even months of solitude and careful planning could not prepare the protagonist for this. Suspense filled the bridge as they faced each other silently. The ship itself hummed, alive in ways the protagonist had never imagined. It had been alone, but now, with her presence, it seemed to breathe. Outside the void, stars watched silently, bearing witness to this first encounter, and in that silence, the first spark of a new adventure began, a story of survival, trust, and a mystery that stretched across the galaxy. The protagonist realized that drifting alone had ended, and the journey with the alien woman was about to begin. The alien woman floated silently in the ship's bridge. Her presence calm and commanding, the protagonist stared, unsure whether to reach for a weapon or retreat. Every system of the ship seemed to respond to her subtly. Lights flickering, engines humming slightly. It was as if the vessel recognized her, remembered her, and obeyed. "I claim this ship as my home," she said. Voice melodic and certain, The words echoed in the empty bridge, filling the air with strange authority. The protagonist swallowed, heart racing. Your home? This is my ship, he said. She smiled faintly. It was built by humans, yes, but it belongs to me now. Suspense filled every corner of the bridge. Tension tight like a drawn wire, the protagonist tried to access the ship's systems. But controls responded slowly, almost reluctantly. Every command typed felt watched, every action anticipated. She moved through the room with grace, eyes scanning panels and screens. It has been asleep for too long, she said. And it waited for me. The ship shivered lightly under her presence. Systems awakening from long dormancy. The protagonist stepped back. Realizing resistance was not simple, it was as if the vessel itself had chosen her. Not him. She touched a console lightly, and hidden compartments opened silently. Small drones emerged, moving with speed and precision. Weapon systems hummed faintly, defensive shields energized. This ship is alive, the protagonist whispered to himself. And she is part of it. The alien woman noticed his awe, her smile widening faintly. You see its power. Yet you doubt me, she said. Voice soft but firm. Together it will protect. And it will survive. The protagonist tried to question her further. Why claim it? Why now? Her eyes glimmered. Because it waited for me. And the galaxy will test us soon. She moved toward the viewport. Scanning the empty darkness outside, threats approach. Far stronger than you imagine, she warned. Every word carried authority, and yet there was mystery in her tone. The ship responded to her silently, adjusting power flows and life support. It was as if the vessel itself understood the danger, preparing for what was coming. Small malfunctions that had worried the protagonist for months vanished. Engines stabilized, shields realigned. Sensors sharpened, the ship hummed with renewed life. Alive in a way it had never been. The alien woman's presence was the catalyst, and her claim was absolute. Suspense grew as the protagonist realized the galaxy held dangers he could not face alone. She had knowledge, skill, and control beyond human understanding. And the ship, now alive with her influence, was a weapon of precision. For hours they explored the bridge together, systems responding only when both were present. Her knowledge of the ship was uncanny, activating hidden systems, accessing areas unknown to humans. The protagonist watched in awe, realizing cooperation might be necessary. Even survival now depended on her. A strange alliance began to form, tense and cautious. Trust was fragile, yet unavoidable. Outside the drifting ship, the void seemed darker, colder, and the alien woman's warning lingered. Hinting that unknown forces were approaching fast, the protagonist finally spoke. If you are here to help, we must act fast, she nodded, eyes scanning every corner of the ship. Yes, but remember, my claim is absolute. And the ship listens to me first. The hum of power filled the bridge. Systems alive, the first step of a new journey had begun. Suspense hung thick in the air. The ship drifted no longer aimlessly, it had a purpose. Guided by a presence older and stronger than he could understand. And the first chapter of their adventure was only beginning. The alien woman moved through the corridors of the ship. Her presence calm and deliberate, the protagonist followed cautiously, unsure what she might do next. Every panel, every door, every console seemed to respond to her touch. Lights flickered softly, sensors hummed, and hidden compartments slid open silently. She stopped at a section the protagonist had never accessed, a place long forgotten, buried under layers of human engineering. This is where the ship's secrets sleep, she said. Voice soft but firm, her fingers brushed the controls. Activating hidden systems, the wall shifted slightly. Revealing intricate pathways and glowing conduits, the protagonist stared in awe. Unable to comprehend what he was seeing, humans created it, yes. But not all alone, she explained. Her eyes glimmered. There is alien influence here. Ancient and powerful. The ship itself responded, pulsing with energy as if acknowledging her words. She activated a console, holographic displays appearing mid-air. Maps of nearby sectors, unknown star systems, and hidden relics of ancient wars glowed. The protagonist leaned closer, scanning the data. So, this ship knows things we never discovered? He whispered. She nodded. It remembers history, both human and alien. It carries knowledge of battles, of technology lost, and of threats still lurking in the galaxy. Suspense filled the bridge as he realized the full scale of the ship's power. It was no ordinary vessel drifting alone. It was a repository of secrets, a weapon, and a key to survival. Small drones moved along hidden tracks, opening additional storage compartments. Weapons long dormant hummed softly. Energy flowing into shields and railguns. The protagonist's eyes widened as he saw the capabilities he had never imagined. This is why the ship responded to you, he said finally. She smiled faintly. It recognizes its guardian, she said. And I am here to guide it. We must prepare for dangers approach that will test both of us. The ship's A interfaced with her directly, lights pulsing as it shared data. Together, they formed a connection neither had anticipated, human and alien in silent cooperation. A warning flashed on the main display, sensors picking up distant movement. The protagonist frowned. Enemies? She nodded. Not just enemies. Predators, scouts, and spies, all seeking this vessel. They will not understand its power, and they will underestimate us. The ship pulsed. Responding to her commands automatically, engines calibrated, shields strengthened, and drones prepared for immediate deployment. Even the protagonist had to admit they were stronger. Suspense built as they realized the first attack could come at any moment. She led him to another section, a hidden armory of advanced technology. Weapons of unknown design, energy projectors, and defensive arrays filled the room. Everything here is linked to the ship, she explained. Even humans never fully unlocked its potential. The protagonist reached for a console, careful not to disrupt her work. The alien woman's calm authority made him cautious. Yet he felt compelled to learn. They worked silently, preparing the ship. Awakening hidden systems, every moment brought new discoveries. Each more surprising than the last, the ship hummed like a living entity. It had waited for this moment for decades, centuries, maybe millennia. The alien woman's presence was the key, and the protagonist realized he had to trust her. For the galaxy outside was vast, dangerous, and filled with enemies who would not hesitate. Suspense built thick, every sensor reading a warning, every pulse a signal of unknown threats. The secrets of the ship were no longer hidden, and together they would face what was coming, or be destroyed trying. The void outside the ship was silent, but sensors hummed with activity, detecting something distant, unseen. The alien woman's eyes narrowed as she scanned the display. Enemies approach, she said calmly, yet the tension in her voice was sharp. The protagonist leaned closer, heart pounding. How many? She studied the readings. Too many to count. But they underestimate us. The ship pulsed, responding to her presence as if it understood the danger. Shields strengthened, weapons hummed, drones moved to defensive positions. Suddenly, flashes appeared on the sensors. Small ships darting in and out of asteroid shadows. The protagonist's stomach tightened. They're scouts. He whispered, "They are probing, testing the defenses," she said. The alien woman moved through the bridge gracefully, activating hidden systems. Lights flickered as ancient energy conduits powered up. The ship seemed alive, humming with anticipation, ready to strike. Every display showed approaching shapes. Too many to track manually, yet the ship coordinated perfectly. Anticipating every movement, the first attack came from the flank. Small energy blasts striking the hull, the alien woman raised her hand, and drones darted forward, intercepting every projectile. The protagonist watched in awe as precision strikes destroyed the incoming scouts. "No human ship could survive this alone," he murmured. She glanced at him. "That is why I am here," she said, voice calm yet commanding. The ship responded instantly, activating hidden railguns. Firing silently through the void, enemy scouts exploded in bursts of blue and orange light. Leaving nothing behind, the alien fleet hesitated. Confused by the strength of a single, drifting ship, they believed it to be abandoned. Weak and unarmed, now they faced something alive. Intelligent and deadly, the protagonist realized the scale of what they were up against. "This is not just a ship," he said. "It's a fortress." She nodded slightly, eyes scanning the approaching armada, fortress and weapon. "Guardian and hunter," she said softly. Every word carried weight, and the ship seemed to echo her meaning. Sudden alarms blared as larger ships entered range. The fleet began coordinated attacks, beams of energy streaking through the void. The alien woman moved to the central console. Touching the controls lightly, the ship responded instantly. Shields adjusting, weapons aligning. Automated drones moved faster than the eye could track. Engines fired bursts of energy. Repositioning the ship with agility, the protagonist guided them, combining human strategy with her alien command. Together, they became an unexpected force, unstoppable yet precise. Explosions lit the darkness as the alien fleet underestimated them. One cruiser disintegrated as hidden railguns struck from impossible angles. Another was torn apart by drones attacking engines and weapons simultaneously. The void became a battlefield, silent yet deadly. The alien woman moved gracefully through the bridge. Calm, commanding, calculating, the ship reacted like a living being. Every movement in harmony with her intent. The protagonist realized that survival depended on their cooperation. Suspense thickened as more ships approached, unaware of the destruction awaiting them. The first wave of attackers began to retreat. Confusion spreading across the enemy fleet. The alien woman smiled faintly, eyes gleaming with control and anticipation. "You see now," she said. "Why the ship waits for me." The protagonist nodded. "Awed. Together we are unstoppable," the ship hummed. Alive, ready, prepared for whatever came next. And in the silence of space, the unseen enemy had learned a deadly lesson. They had thought it was just a drifting human ship, but it was much more, alive, intelligent, and defended by one who claimed it as her own. The battlefield was quiet again. The alien fleet scattered, retreating into the darkness, damaged, broken, and afraid. The ship drifted calmly, its systems humming softly. The alien woman stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the void, her presence still commanding. Still alive within the ship, the protagonist watched, heart racing, awed by the power and mystery of her claim. "Is it over?" he asked cautiously. She shook her head slowly. "Not yet." "There are always threats in the galaxy," she said, "but this ship is ready. And we are ready together." The protagonist stepped closer, understanding at last the bond between the woman and the vessel. The ship itself pulsed in acknowledgement, alive, alert, and protective. Months of drifting alone felt distant now, replaced by this new partnership. He realized survival in the void depended not just on skill, but on trust, courage, and alliances stronger than any weapon. Together, they explored the bridge, checking systems and repairing damage. The alien woman activated hidden panels, revealing more secrets of the vessel. The protagonist marveled at the combination of human design and alien enhancements. "This ship. It's incredible," he said softly. She smiled faintly. "It was built to endure, to survive, and to protect." Every drone, every railgun, every shield responded to her presence. And now, with the protagonist at her side, they formed a team, a new alliance. Outside the void, distant stars shone quietly. Watching silently, the galaxy was vast, and unknown dangers still lurked, but together, they had proven that they could face anything. The alien woman guided the ship toward new coordinates. The protagonist studied the maps, amazed at the hidden systems and secret sectors. They had no home, no clear path, but hope had returned. The drifting ship was no longer lost, it had a purpose. A guide and a mission. Suspense lingered. For the universe was unpredictable, new fleets, unknown species, and ancient powers waited beyond the sensors. But the bond between human and alien was strong. Together, they would explore, survive, and confront threats unseen. The protagonist realized the importance of trust and respect, even when facing a being whose power seemed unmatched. The alien woman's claim was absolute, yet her cooperation was invaluable. They moved silently through space, avoiding known dangers. The ship responded to both, alive in every sense. The alien woman activated navigation systems, pointing toward distant sectors. "These areas are dangerous," she warned, "but they hold secrets, knowledge, and power worth discovering." The protagonist nodded. Understanding the journey ahead, they were no longer alone. Drifting in the void, they were partners, guardians of the vessel and explorers of the galaxy. For months of isolation, the protagonist had survived alone now. The loneliness was replaced by purpose, partnership, and adventure. The alien woman smiled, eyes gleaming. "Together, we will face the universe," the ship hummed in agreement. Every system alert, alive, ready, and in that moment, a new chapter began, a story of courage, survival, and unexpected alliances. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and threats, but humanity, and now their unexpected partner, would endure, unseen, powerful, and ready for whatever came next. The protagonist looked out at the stars, feeling hope for the first time in months. The alien woman's presence was a reminder that strength came in many forms, and the drifting ship was no longer alone. It was home, a weapon, a fortress, and a legacy together. They would survive, explore, and face the unknown. And the galaxy would remember the day a lost ship found its guardian. An alliance forged in silence, drifting among the stars, unseen, unstoppable, and invincible.